Exie suddenly wakes up in total shock as a room full of recruits hits a crisis. The entire space is rapidly filling with water, and it is rising fast. In just seconds, everyone inside will drown with absolutely nowhere left to escape. Taking one last deep breath, they desperately look for a way out of the sealed room. The narrative rewinds back to 1997 during a raid in the Middle East. An agent named Lee Unwin sacrifices his life to shield his superior, Harry Hart. Lee dies from a suicide bomber, leaving Harry carrying a massive weight of guilt. Back in London, Harry visits Lee's devastated wife, Michelle, and young son, Exie. Michelle refuses the Medal of Honor, so Harry passes it to young Exie instead. He explains there is a secret emergency phone number engraved on the back. Harry tells the boy to keep it safe and look after his mother. Fast forward 17 years later to a professor held captive in a remote cabin. A sharply dressed man appears at the door and effortlessly eliminates the captors. This is Lancelot, a veteran Kingsman agent who successfully rescues the professor. Before they can escape, a lethal assassin named Gazelle ambushes and kills Lancelot. Gazelle works for Richmond Valentine, a tech billionaire handing out free SIM cards. Valentine orchestrated the kidnapping and convinces the professor to cooperate with him. Meanwhile, Harry enters a high-end London tailor shop known as Kingsman. In reality, this is the secret headquarters of an elite private intelligence agency. Harry joins his superior, Arthur, to discuss the tragic loss of Lancelot. The senior leaders agree it is time to recruit a brand new candidate. Merlin, the tech expert, arrives with fresh intelligence regarding the failed rescue. Arthur officially orders Harry to investigate Professor Arnold and find the killer. The focus shifts back to Exie, who is now a fully grown adult. Despite his high intellect, he dropped out of training for the Royal Marines. He lives in a tense household with his mother and abusive stepfather, Dean. Dean constantly mocks him, but Exie tries his best to protect his baby sister. At a local pub, Exie gets into a heated dispute with Dean's thugs. To avoid violence, Exie walks away but slyly swipes the thugs' car keys. He and his friends take the stolen vehicle for a reckless joyride as payback. The police quickly spot them, leading to a high-speed pursuit through the streets. Exie gets cornered, allowing his friends to flee while taking the entire blame. Facing up to 18 months in prison, he sits alone in custody. Remembering the childhood medal, he finally decides to call the emergency number. Harry immediately arranges his release and meets him outside the police station. They head to a bar where Harry reveals his secret spy identity, Galahad. Dean's men arrive to cause trouble, insulting Harry in the process. Harry effortlessly demolishes the entire group of thugs, leaving Exie completely stunned. When Exie returns home, an enraged Dean attacks him and threatens Michelle. Having hidden a tracker on Exie, Harry intercepts and threatens Dean remotely. Dean backs off and Harry instructs Exie to meet at the tailor shop. Harry offers him a chance to compete for the vacant Lancelot position. Exie arrives at the secret training facility to face intense, grueling trials. He meets a sharp candidate named Roxy and a wealthy elite named Charlie. That very night, Merlin triggers the unexpected and brutal water room test. Exie and a handful of remaining recruits survive, advancing to the next stage. Meanwhile, Merlin spots Professor Arnold returning to his normal life at college. Harry confronts the professor in London, hoping to extract critical answers. During the interrogation, a hidden chip in Arnold's neck suddenly detonates. The explosion kills the professor instantly as an ambush plunges the room into chaos. Harry survives but requires heavy medical recovery following the explosive trap. Concurrently, Valentine pitches a bold global plan to powerful political figures. He successfully secures high-level support, reaching all the way to the White House. It becomes obvious that Valentine engineered the lethal neck implants himself. The chips explode automatically if the host feels threatened, ensuring total silence. Back at base, the remaining recruits face increasingly hazardous training challenges. Each candidate is assigned a puppy to raise, train, and bond with closely. Abroad, Valentine convinces the King of Sweden to back his chip initiative. Princess Tilda firmly rejects it, prompting Valentine to order her immediate abduction. A healed Harry goes back on duty, catching up on Exie's solid progress. Merlin links the professor's fatal explosion directly to Valentine's tech firm. They review a promo video of Valentine marketing his free global SIM cards. Harry goes undercover as a billionaire investor to secure a dinner invite. Suspicious, Valentine slips a specialized tracking nanogel into Harry's drink. Harry updates Arthur and flags Valentine's ties to a radical Kentucky church. Global leaders continue vanishing as demand for the free SIM cards skyrockets. The final 3 candidates face a terrifying high-altitude parachute jump test. Exy, Roxy, and Charlie manage to pull through and pass the stage. The trio is subjected to a brutal loyalty test tied to train tracks. Exy and Roxy refuse to crack, while a terrified Charlie surrenders secrets. Charlie is instantly disqualified, narrowing the competition down to just 2. Exy meets with Arthur while Roxy is sent straight to Merlin's office. The final task requires Exy to execute the puppy he raised. Unable to pull the trigger, Exy refuses and officially fails the program. Roxy passes the final test and is officially named the new Lancelot. Disappointed, Exy returns home only to find fresh bruises on his mother's face. Before he can fight Dean, Harry intervenes and drags him away safely. Harry explains the gun held blanks. It was a test of mercy, not malice. Merlin calls with urgent news about an imminent signal test in Kentucky. Harry flies out immediately, wearing video glasses so Exy can watch live. Inside the church, Valentine broadcasts a frequency that triggers pure, unbridled rage. The congregation turns hyper-violent, and even Harry falls completely under its spell. Using his elite skills, Harry massacres the crowd and emerges the sole survivor. Stumbling outside in horror, Harry is met calmly by Valentine himself. Valentine explains the grand plan before casually shooting Harry in the head. Watching the live feed, Exy and Merlin are left entirely traumatized. Exy rushes back to headquarters to confront Arthur about the tragedy. He notices a distinct chip scar on Arthur's neck, realizing he is compromised. Arthur confesses Valentine plans a global culling to combat climate change. He tries to poison Exy, but Exy smoothly swaps their drinks around. Arthur drinks the lethal dose himself and dies on the spot. Exy cuts the implant out of Arthur's neck and brings it to Merlin. Teaming up with Roxy, they formulate a desperate plan to stop Valentine. Roxy utilizes high-altitude balloons to reach space and target a satellite. Meanwhile, Merlin discovers the implants act as shields against the rage signal. However, the technology allows Valentine to detonate the chips at will. Merlin flies Exy directly to Valentine's heavily guarded mountain bunker. Disguised elegantly as Arthur, Exy walks straight into the elite gathering. The cover works perfectly until Charlie spots him among the wealthy guests. With his identity blown, Exy and Merlin face an immediate security lockdown. Roxy successfully obliterates the satellite, scoring a brief, temporary victory. Unfortunately, Valentine has a backup satellite system ready to deploy. With time running thin, Exy suggests an aggressive hack to Merlin. He tells him to trigger the chip failsafe across the entire network. Merlin executes the command, causing the heads of the elite to explode. The bunker becomes a spectacular, colorful display of synchronized detonations. Roxy calls Michelle, warning her to lock